Hi, I'm going to take you through a stability ball or Swiss ball workout that is going to be lower body focused and avoid any upper shoulder, particularly abduction. I've got a bit of a funky shoulder at the moment, so I thought, why not do a video and maybe this will serve you at some point. We're going to start down on the mat with the feet flexed and heels down into the ball. From here, we're going to just start with a little flexing up, nodding the chin towards the chest, flexing up, reaching those hands towards the end of the mat, and then lowering back down. Slightly tuck the chin towards the chest as you slide up and lower down. And what I'm trying to do is just keep that ball nice and still. I've got a little bit of pressure down into my feet. Exhale as I come up and lowering down. Trying to keep a pelvis nice and neutral. So I've got like a small gap in the lower of my back, like I'm holding a blueberry there in space. On the next one, I'm going to come up and stay and do little pulses here. So just lifting my chest, ribs, gliding them to the hips, up an inch, down an inch. Keeping nice and flat through the abdomen. 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, and lower everything down. I'm going to come into my bridges now. So I'm going to start by just bringing my feet flat onto the ball. And I'm just going to start by pushing down into the base of my feet, giving myself a little pelvic tuck and release. And a pelvic tuck and release. I'm going to continue with that motion now. Start peeling my spine off the floor, coming all the way up and melting all the way down. I'm trying to apply pressure down into my feet nice and evenly so the ball isn't getting pushed away. This really fires up into the glutes and into the hamstrings. And I'm going to go up one more time. Hold this one here. I'm going to bring my toes up so my feet are in a flexed position. And then I'm just going to do little pulses in. So really feeling that connection into the glute now. Little pulses, driving the heels down into the ball. Out an inch, in an inch. 4, 3, 4, 2, and 1. Melt the spine all the way down. And then just extend that ball away and just have a nice little stretch. All right, so from here, we're going to go back into the abs. This time, I'm going to bring my right knee up into tabletop. And I'm going to bring, it's a little bit tricky for me with bringing my hands behind the head, so I'm not going to support my head, but by all means, if you need to, go for it. Okay, so from here, I'm going to flex up again, just like I did before, into that little chest lift. And I'm going to stay here, and I'm just going to extend that knee away and pull it in. And reach out and in. I'm going to start adding a reciprocal movement there. So I'm going to start pushing the ball in and out, sending that free leg over the ball as it comes in. In and out, in and out. 4, 3, 4, 2, and 1. Staying here, and then just inch up and down into the chest. 4, 3, 4, 2, and and 1. Extend that leg long. Take your free leg now up to the sky. Lower the head and shoulders down. And then from here, flex the foot. And then you're just going to drive up into a single leg bridge and lower. Hips are going straight up and down. I'm making a footprint to the roof. Reaching through my heel. For 3, for 2, 1. Lift and hold. And then I'm going to lower that leg down, point and kick. Flex and lower, point and lift. Last one. And then come all the way down. Bring the ball in. And then just do little circles. So just dropping the knees out to the side, just getting a little hip release. Reverse, go the other way. Okay, and then back to the other side. So I'm going to float my left foot up now into that tabletop. And I'm going to come up into my chest lift. I'm just going to send the ball away and pull it back in. So I'm just controlling it with one leg, keeping the other leg nice and crisp in that 90-90 position. And then I'll start with my reciprocal movement. So in and out, reaching away. Good, last one. Reach it out. And then I'm just going to do little pulses up, up, up. For 3, for 2, for 1. Good. Okay. Take the head and shoulders down. Extend the leg up to the sky. Flex the foot. Make sure you've got a nice solid footing on that ball. You might need to shuffle it in a little bit. And then from here, we're just going to lift up into our bridge and lower down. I'm going straight up, straight down. Last one, lift and hold. And then I'm going to lower that leg down to the ball and kick it straight back up. Flex to lower, point and lift. I'm still driving down on that bottom leg, feeling that connection up into the glute. And last one here. Nice work. Lower down, find your ball, melt the spine down, and then just pull the ball in, take the legs over. You can take the arms a little wider if you like, and then just take a little side to side for that release into the lower back. Hug the ball into the back of the legs. Nice. Okay, last little glute here. We're going to come and bring the feet in this kind of butterfly position. So actually we'll go back to the abs first and then follow with the glutes. So from here, I'm going to bring my hands together and I'm going to flex up into the center. And then I'm going to take my hand over to my knee, come back to center, go to my other knee, come to center and lower down. Flex up. So it's just a small rotation. And I'm really trying to keep my hands in the center of my sternum. So I'm rotating with my obliques from my waistline, not twisting through my shoulders. Last one. And lower it down. You could keep your arms up here for a little extra challenge. And I've just still got that turnout position on my feet. And then from here, I'm going to bridge straight up and lower down, and lift and lower. So just attacking those glutes at a different angle now. Might be a little bit more of a challenge for that stability. So those butterfly bridges. Last two. Last one. Lift and hold. And now I'm going to fold the knees in. Whoop. Maybe I tap my hands down for this one. And then lower back down. And lift and lower. And lift, squeezing into the inner thighs. Didn't expect that to be as wobbly. I don't know why. I'm on a ball, so it should be. Lifting into the hips. Not just pulling my knees together, but actually lifting up through the glutes. Last one. And then you can melt the spine all the way down. Okay, come rock yourself up to seated. And we'll just stretch up those hamstrings a little bit. So take the legs out, pop the hands on top, and we're just going to do just like a forward fold, but we're going to scoop back into the abs. So spine stretch forward, meaning abdominals scooping back, pushing the ball away. And then I rebuild the spine to come up nice and tall. And exhale. And inhale, lengthen. So I'm just going to keep my movements very controlled today, not big arm movements. From here, sit up nice and tall, and then I'm just going to get a little extra leg stretch. So I'm just going to tip forward, pushing my chest towards the ball, and then sitting back up nice on top on the sit bones and hinging forward. So from my hips, reaching the chest towards the ball, keeping my back nice and straight. And last one here, you'll feel that a little bit more intensely through the back of the legs. All right, okay, so we're going to come into a variation of footwork like we do on the reformer. So we're going to take a seat on top. Now, if you struggle with this, what you could do is prop your feet against a wall, and that would give you a little bit more sense of security. Hopefully I stay in the frame. I have to start a little bit further back because I'm going to walk down or walk out, and I want that ball positioned right sort of in between my lumbar spine, my lower back, and my mid back, okay? So it's not on my shoulders. My shoulders are free. From here, I'm going to start with my feet parallel, and I'm going to predominantly push through my heels. So you could hold your arms out if you feel like you're confident enough. Or you could, if you're feeling a little bit insecure, you could just pop your hands as well behind, just to make sure that ball's not going to slip on out. Okay, it shouldn't, but hey, there's always a possibility. So I'm angling my sit bones straight down, and I'm pushing away through my feet, through my heels. So I'm mimicking pushing the bar on the reformer as I go in and out. I feel like I'm getting out of the frame there, so I'll scooch forward again. Pushing out and in. You still need to keep that connection through the abdominals. So you're actively pushing that lower back into the ball. And then we're going to stay down on this one. So holding that tension in your quads. Lift those toes. Feel that fire heat up in the legs. And we're just going to hold it for 5, for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. All right, come on up. So from here, we are going to change foot position. We're going to come into our high half toe. So lifting those heels up, and we'll just do the same movement. So heels are lifted, I'm pushing away. Now with the balls of the feet, You will feel this a little differently in the legs, perhaps a little bit more focused around the tops of the knees and around the calves as well. So again, remember, angling straight down on that trajectory. Last 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to hold this one down, okay? And then I'm just going to lower my heels, lift my heels, lower my heels, lift my heels. So getting a little bit of ankle mobility there and that extra heat build up in that isometric hold. Last 3, 2, and 1. Push away. Oof, okay, so final foot position today, we're going to go wide. So find that turnout position from the hip, not just at the feet, okay? So my knees are anchored outside of the mat now. I'm going to sit back or sit down and then drive out of those feet again. I'm hugging my inner thigh bones together as I push away. Slowly making my way to the other end of the mat, holding it down. This time, we're just going to pulse out into those knees. Final 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oof, okay. Walk it up. Come back to center. We'll take a little bit of a second. We'll take a little hip release. Nice big circles around. And reverse, go the other way. Okay. All right. So whilst we're here on top of the ball, let's go into a little bit of half rollbacks. So keeping the arms extended out in front, and we're just going to find that pelvic tuck again. So pubic bone rolls forward and then sitting back up nice and tall on top of those sit bones. If you also have shoulder issues, you could always just hold your hands in prayer if holding your arms out in front is not an option. You could also hold it just down into your lap as well. That's like what we do when we do that short box series. So we can roll it back, sitting back nice and tall. Let's hold the next one back. Find our little rotations again. So just dip the elbow from one side to the other. 4, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, and sitting back on top. All right, coming to a standing position. And we're going to do kind of like what we do on the chair, on the stability chair. So, well, a variation of. So we're going to start by placing the right foot on top of the ball. And I am putting a little bit of pressure down there. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of pressing down and release. And I'm trying to mimic that pressing down of the pedal on the stability chair. I'm really grounding down into that standing leg, as well as trying to have equal pressure into this ball foot. So like a tripod, I'm trying to push down evenly into the big toe, the little toe side, and the heel. Do whatever you need to do with the hands to stay nice and stable. I'm trying to keep my hips square so they're not hitching out to one side. Good. And then from here, a little bit of a balance challenge. I'm going to extend my knee and draw it back in. So I'm pushing the ball away. As I pull it in, I am pushing down. I'm finding that pressure back down into my foot, working my hamstring. And again, finding that connection from hamstring into the glute. And last one here. Extend the leg away, and then I'm just going to do a little twist with my pelvis. So I'm going to push the ball away, allow this hip to come forward, and then pull my hip back into the socket and extend it away, rotate, pull it back square. So I'm doing kind of this action with my pelvis. Last one here. Good. Okay, from here I'm going to pivot to the side. And I'm going to draw my heel. So try to square my hips up as best I can. So I'm bending, having a soft knee on this standing leg. And then from here, again, pulling the ball in and out. So just working the leg just at a different angle now in that external rotation of the hip. Pull in. It's a lot of balance. Putting pressure down into the foot as I draw it into my inner seam. 2, and last one. I'm going to squat down, reach out, and then come up. Lower and lift, and lower and lift. Hold it down, and little pulses for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1, and drive all the way back up. Okay, so from here, I'm going to pivot turn once again, and the top of the foot is on the ball. All right, from here, find your balance first, and let's send the ball away. So lunging down, and then just driving into that front heel to come back up nice and tall. Reach away, sinking down, driving into the foot, stand tall. I'm trying to keep my chest as lifted as I can. When I go back, as I do when I come up. So I'm getting a good stretch on that hip flexor. We're getting some good glute and leg work on that standing leg. If you need to hold on to something, by all means go for it. It is definitely a balance challenge with this ball. Okay, so we're going to add on to this. So sending the leg and ball away. So staying low in my lunge, I'm going to bring the ball in with the back leg, reach it back out, and then standing back nice and tall. So we're just adding in that scooter. In, out, and lift. Lunging back. Scooter in, scooter out, standing tall. Let's do 2 more. Now, holding the next one down, just going to do our scooters for 6, for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Reach it out. Nearly done. Up and down in that front knee. Woof. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Hold and come up. Ooh, nearly lost the balance there. All right, okay, that's definitely fired that one right up. Okay, so now placing the fiery leg on top, finding our grounding in our standing leg and pressing down and a little release. Straight down, even pressure on the foot. And last one. From here, balance challenge. Extend the knee and hamstring pull. Extend. I'm trying to, again, that pressure down into my foot as I drag the ball in, creating extra resistance there. And last one, I'll reach out. And then we're going to do that mobility through the hip. So pushing your hip, pushing hip forward, like thigh bone going forward, and then pulling that thigh bone back into the socket and bringing the hip square. Reach out and controlling in. Reach out, control it in. And last one. All right, now we're going to pivot turn. I'll turn around though so you don't get the back end view. Right, so I'm in my turn out position. All right, and I need to find my balance here. You don't be too close to the ball, otherwise you'll lose it. All right, and then as well, the top leg in turn out. Reach away. Might need to fiddle around a little bit to keep those hips square and avoid that hitching too much up, or particularly on this hip, you don't want to have that hike. So lower it down, okay? Standing leg is bent, just enough to control the hips. In and out. If you wanted to advance this, you could absolutely hold some weights and do some arm movements as well, you know, reaching out, pulling in. But like I said, I'm just keeping it all very much lower body today. It is quite the balance challenge though, so probably not so necessary. We'll keep the next one out long, okay? And then we're gonna go out, down into that squat and stand. Sort of pushing that ball out to the side, getting a little stretch through the groin and the inner thigh. Down and up. Last one, chest is lifted. Hold this one, little pulses in that standing leg. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1, and bring it up. All right, pivot, turn. If you need to stop, shake it out, you can totally do that. And bringing that foot on to the ball, we'll hop forward, try to stay in the frame, and finding my balance. Sending that ball away, lunging back. There's always going to be a good side and a bad side. I think this might be my bad side. Lower and lift. So I'm really driving down into that heel and foot. Trying to stay as square as I can. Ooh, definitely focusing on something in front of me. All right, last one. We're going to add that scooter. And in, out, and stand tall. Lower down. Back leg only. Pulls in, drives away. Front leg leads now. Whoa. Hold it down, only scooters. Oof, that standing leg. And it's already tired from working on the other side. Needed the wall then. 2, 1, hold it back and down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and standing tall. Oof, that definitely deserves a shake out now. Dearie me. Okay, so let's finish up just with a little bit of side lying. So get the ball nice and close to your hip, and then just take your underside over. So just drape over. I've got a little bit of a hug happening here into the ball. Bottom knee is going to stay down, taking that top leg out, and I'm just going to keep my arm resting on my leg today. Just a gentle lift and a lower. I'm not going super high. I'm only trying to lift my leg basically up to hip height. That's it. And lift and hold. From here, I'm going to go into my kicks. So I'm going to fold at the hip, bring the leg forward, flex, and then point the toe, sweep it back. So flex the foot, kick, kick, pulse, and one big sweep to reach back. So my abs are bringing my leg forward, my glutes are bringing it back. 1, 2, sweep. Trying my best not to move my hips, collapsing them forward or back, staying stacked. Last one here, final kick, bring it to center, and then I'm going to circle forward, 2, 3, 4, 5, reverse, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bend the knee. Coming onto my knees, I'm going to just gently push the ball off to the side as I take my hip to the outside of my heel, and that will just give me a nice little stretch there to that glute. All right. Taking it over. So hugging it in, a gentle hug. And I just find a gentle lift of that leg just to hip height, arms extending down. You could have it as well. This is my good shoulder, so it's fine. But you could have it also there by your head. Lift and lower. Even though I'm on the ball, I'm trying to actively lift up my underside. So my abs are working. And on the next one, lift and hold. Keeping things square, fold at the hip, bring the leg forward and sweep back. 1, 2, and a kick. 1, 2, kick. I'm going to do one more. And then I've got those fiery little circles to finish. Bring it back to center. Gentle point of the toe. I'm circulating in the hip socket. That's where I'm trying to make my movement come from. And reverse my circles. Go the other way. Oof, all right, bring it in. Again, just send the ball off to one side and hips in the opposite direction over those heels. All right, and coming up. All right, last bit of abs today. We'll take a lie down onto the mat and we'll bring the ball now in between those ankles in the feet. It's probably the best is to yeah, have it a little bit up and have the feet flexed, okay? And let's start with a bend and extend. So I'm going to reach my legs out like I'm pushing my feet against the wall and then fold back in. My head's going to stay down. Controlling my movement. You might need to come into a little bit of an imprint there, okay? So you might need to scoop up, bringing that pubic bone up a little bit towards the rib cage, so there's no doming and arching going on in your lower back. Go as low as you can maintain the control of that pelvis as well. So if you are arching, you just go a little higher with the legs. Don't go out so low. All right, so if you've got to progress, we can lower and lift. Let me scooch back. Lower and lift. And you might not lower very far. It's going to be a completely individualized range of motion there, depending on how strong your abs are. Lower and lift. Now, last little bit of spice. As we lower, we're going to squeeze. So we're going to squeeze down. 1, 2, 3, and lift. Pulse down, 2, 3, and lift. Last 1, 2, 3, and lift. Lower the ball away. Oof, get rid of it. Let's finish with the leg circles. So taking that leg up, the arms as wide as you need. Ooh, we'll go across the midline first, down, out and around. So just single leg circles. And reverse, go the other way. Extend that long leg down. Float the other one up. Gentle point of that foot. And we're going across the midline, down, out and around. Just kicking that ball as I go. Nice big circles. And let's reverse, go the other direction. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Good. Hug the knees in. Oh, a well-deserved little rest and relaxation now. I'm going to hug the knees in, just allow that pelvis to lift, get a nice stretch in the lower back, and then release away. Hugging in and release. Last one. Hug. And then I'm going to flex up into my head, neck, and shoulders. And I'm just going to do some controlled breathing here. So I'm breathing diaphragmically. Okay, nice and three-dimensionally in through the nose. Feeling that into the side of the rib cage and back. Feeling that expansion. And exhale. Keeping that hugging into the legs. On the next exhale, I'm going to extend one leg away and pull in. Other side. And last one here. Lowering down, bringing the legs together, lowering the feet down. Go wide and then just take a little swivel of those hips from side to side. This always feels nice. Oh, a little adjustment there. Nice work. And then extend those legs long. And we're just going to do a nice little roll up to come to seated. So tucking the chin towards the chest, scooping into the belly, rounding forward. And then reaching through the heels as you lower back down. If you want to take your hands overhead, you may. I'm just going to keep them down by my sides for today. And last one here coming up. And stacking up nice and tall. Okay, well done. I hope you enjoyed the class, and I look forward to taking you through another Pilates class soon. Take care.